This may be the end of the Electoral College as we know it. A Supreme Court ruling just about a week ago opened the door for the National Popular Vote Coalition to go into effect in the majority opinion, stating that if a state says, y'all got to vote for the person we want, they could change the way the Electoral College functions. There's only one thing standing in their way. They need one simple act of Congress. So it would seem if the Democrats get the House and the Senate at the same time, at least a supermajority or all three branches, they could pass congressional approval for the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, solidifying it. And that's it. There you go. The Electoral College is just a figment, just a memory at that point. Check out this story from Real Clear Politics. They say, High Court opens the door to Electoral College subversion. They go on to mention that, here's the background. Most states appoint a state of electors selected by a political party whose candidate has won the state's popular vote. Many states, in addition, have laws that require the electors to vote only for the candidate who won the state's popular vote. In 2016, a handful of electors from both parties vowed not to vote for the candidate who won the popular vote in their states, leading to the conflict decided in Chiafolo v. Washington. In its ruling, the High Court said that states have the right to require those electors to vote in the manner mandated by their legislatures. Seemed simple enough. And lots of analysts on the right and left, not just Rush Limbaugh, greeted the unanimous decision as if it were an innocuous rebuke of the presumptuous electors who had decided to thumb their nose at Hillary Clinton or Trump. But it was much more significant than that, and was not a defeat for the left as Limbaugh originally surmised, but rather a huge victory for them and a disaster for the Constitution. Writing for the majority, Justice Elena Kagan said that the states may punish or remove such faithless electors on the basis that they are not following the dictates of the legislature. She based that argument on Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which says, each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress. According to Kagan's reasoning, the power to appoint an elector in any manner includes power to condition his appointment, absent some other constitutional constraint. She argues, therefore, that a state can require that an elector live in the state or be a registered voter, for instance, and then adds that a state can add an associated condition of appointment. It can demand that the elector actually live up to his pledge on pain of penalty, which is to say that the state's appointment power, barring some outside constraint, enables the enforcement of a pledge like Washington's. This is typical abuse of the plain language of the Constitution that we have come to expect of the court. The power granted to the state is the power to appoint, not the power to dictate the vote. Who is appointed and the manner of that appointment are to be determined by the state. But there is no constitutional authority for restricting the vote of the elector to be appointed. Yet with the court's latest decision, members of the Electoral College are now nothing but a rubber stamp for state legislatures. The ruling was not just about whether or not a few disgruntled electors could wave their middle finger at candidates they don't like. It changed the rules of the game and laid the groundwork for the radical left to effectively eliminate the Electoral College as a meaningful institution altogether. That's because they go on to mention the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. I'll give you the simple version. It's a bunch of states that have said, once we have enough people in this coalition that we would have 270 electoral votes, it goes into effect. We then only give our electoral votes to the popular vote winner, ensuring the popular vote winner wins the presidency. What they're saying here is that this ruling by they say it right here. Let me read it. They say the ruling was much more dangerous. According to Kagan, a state's legislature may direct the elector to vote for the winner of the state's popular vote. Using the same principle, there is no reason why a legislature cannot direct the elector to vote for the winner of the nation's popular vote. Based on the demographic trends over the past 3 decades, that would almost ensure the Republican Party would be locked out of the White House for the foreseeable future. It is certainly no accident that of the 15 states and the District of Columbia that have so far approved the compact, not one of them has voted Republican in any of the last 3 presidential elections. Well, here's the current status. The nationalpopularvote.com. Let me just break it down for you. Because of the ruling of the Supreme Court, state legislatures who have supported the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact need only include in their language, electors of this state shall vote for the National Popular Vote winner, period. And the Supreme Court has said, okay. Now, that would technically fly in the face of what the elector is supposed to do, support the winner of the state's popular vote. But there you go. Supreme Court said so. As of right now, I believe there are 194. They say, well, let me read. The National Popular Vote Bill will take effect when enacted into law by states possessing 270 electoral votes. As of July 2020, it has been enacted into law in 16 jurisdictions possessing 196 electoral votes, including 4 small states, Delaware, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Vermont. 8 medium-sized, I'm not going to read all the states, that's silly. The bill will take effect when enacted by states possessing an additional 74 electoral votes. So they're close. I don't know who else is willing to actually join, or I should say, I don't know the likelihood they're willing to join, but there are many willing to join. Check this out. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, that's not going to work. Green indicates that the National Popular Vote Bill has been enacted into law. And we can see all the states where it is: Illinois, California, Washington, Oregon, New York, New Jersey. Of course, it's the blue states. Orange indicates passage by one legislative chamber. We can see that North Carolina, Virginia, I believe it's Arkansas, Oklahoma, Arizona, Minnesota, Michigan, they've already agreed, at least in one chamber. That means we are very, very close to getting this National Popular Vote Coalition. Check this out. Yellow indicates passage by both legislative chambers, so Nevada's on the verge of actually enacting this. And blue indicates a hearing by at least one legislative committee. So in many different places, many states, they've actually entertained this. Now, it looks like we are very, very close. I'm sorry, I missed Maine. Maine is actually, that's 4 electoral votes. The Electoral College is extremely important. If we lose this, I believe there would be nothing stopping the United States from dissolving. I really do mean it. Look at the European Union. They struggle to function properly. The Electoral College is very crafty. It ensures that every state has a say in the president. If we got rid of the electoral vote, the only people who would have any say in the actual election would be New York, California, and Illinois. Maybe Florida, maybe Texas, these big states, these major metropolitan jurisdictions. So notably the big 3, New York, LA, Chicago. Nobody's ever going to bother with Montana or Wyoming again. Maine, who cares? It's funny, I see Rhode Island in there. You think anyone's going to care about your politics, Rhode Island? You're tiny. You're 4 votes. Delaware, that's hilarious. They have 3. Delaware is microscopic. You ever looked at look at a map? Go look how big Delaware is. Delaware is tiny. Their politics will become nothing. No one will ever cater to them. They will have no say in the presidency. None whatsoever. None. They will be a footnote in terms of presidential elections. But isn't it great that we have, Wyoming, Idaho, Iowa, North and South Dakota? They get their say. They get their say. Let me show you this. This is really, really amazing. I'm so in favor of the Electoral College. This is from procon.org. 3 reasons for and against the Electoral College. Pro 1, the Founding Fathers enshrined the Electoral College in the U.S. because they thought it was the best method to choose the president. Con number 1, the reason for which the Founding Fathers created the Electoral College are no longer relevant. They say modern technology allows voters to get necessary information to make informed decisions in a way that could not have been foreseen by the Founding Fathers. Full stop. No, it doesn't. Fake news is a very serious problem, so that is out the window. Using electors instead of the popular vote was intended to safeguard against uninformed and uneducated voters by putting the final decision in the hands of electors. They also mention it was a compromise so that, it was to prevent states with larger populations from having undue influence. That still is true to this day. So no, your con reason doesn't make sense. Pro 2, the Electoral College ensures that all parts of the country are involved in selecting the president of the United States. Exactly. Con, the Electoral College gives too much power to swing states and allows the presidential election to be decided by a handful of states. No, swing states changed. They say Texas may be a swing state this time around. That's massive. That's how many? 38? 38 electoral votes up for grabs. Swing states change. California wasn't always a blue state. It was Republican throughout the 80s, up until the 80s. And it wasn't always jam-packed with electoral votes. It used to be a big empty state. Now it's powerful. So this argument, out the window. Pro 3, the Electoral College guarantees certainty to the outcome of the presidential election, saying that in some votes, if it was just a popular vote, you get a plurality. That's not good. If we go by the popular vote, let's say you have 10 candidates and 9 of them get 9, and then you end up with one with 19%. 19, they win? The electoral vote ensures it doesn't happen. It's not perfect. But if no one gets a plurality of the Electoral College, it goes to the House delegations. It's better than nothing, right? They say the Electoral College ignores the will of the people. No, it doesn't. It does not ignore the will of the people. California and New York are highly dense, and they're blind to the perspectives of people who live in other parts of the country. You cannot have city folk who've never grown a plant dictating what farmers do with their plants. And therein lies the problem. It doesn't ignore the will of the people. It guarantees, it safeguards the true will of the people by ensuring a balance in perspective. Let me wrap this up. Give you the point. The Supreme Court has paved the way. I know I've made a lot of arguments for the Electoral College, but I'll tell you this. We are very close to losing it. All the metrics right now say the Democrats are going to sweep everything. And I mean it, everything. All 3 branches. No joke. Take a look at it. They're saying fundraising, polls, they're going to get the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And then what's to stop them from passing this? And the Republicans never win again. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel.